Diamond is a mind hack engineer, author, international speaker, coach, and trainer in the field of personal development and lifestyle reset. She is the CEO of Minds Up Academy and Life Transformation Company, as well as From Poverty to Profit Wealth Development Company. She helps men and women who struggle with poor money habits, lack confidence about their next step, and other unhealthy mental attitudes that disable their inner power to achieve success by identifying and eliminating those beliefs, then replacing them with empowering ones. She delivers core training on the operation of the brain and provides a clear strategy to help others reach their personal, financial, and spiritual goals. Wonderful. Welcome, 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 Takiyah.
Hello,
Welcome to our guest that
everyone.
joined. Welcome, Juliet, Lorenzo, Pia.
Hi,
Let me
Juliet.
switch back over so I can see everyone.
Okay,
Okay, yes.
I'm trying to get us together too. So, for guys, please forgive me. I never use my cell phone because it's kind of crappy. So, if I'm like wobbly and shaky and stuff, let me apologize in advance. I'm trying to make this work. Oh, you know what?
That's all right. We work,
I think
work
that's
out
good.
this technology.
That looks fine, right?
Yep, you're good. It's steady.
Okay.
All right. So Takiyah, it's all I'm turning it over to you. You can let them know a little bit more about you and we can get right into it since we're a little bit late. So we can get right into the teaching. Because
All
I
right.
know my ears are open.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me come on tonight to be able to build with your leaders, the people who are under, your direction and your care, as far as, helping them and in many different ways that you're helping them. It's such a pleasure for me to be able to, just come and tune in with you guys and chime in and help you guys out. So, as Phoenixx stated to you guys earlier, I'm Takiyah Diamond. If you want to know just a little bit, because we are going to get straight into the teaching, she already told you enough about me. Okay, and so let's just hop right into it. So, what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is actually I think it's about six. I think I'm going to give you guys like 6 steps to actually altering your business and your money mindset. Okay. So the first thing is for me, myself, I've worked with thousands of professional women, right, in the past, and mainly around building success, wealth, rewards, things like that. And I've seen firsthand how the subconscious beliefs that often work against us. Okay, so um, even just from my own journey, I experienced being in a very good place, a 6-figure person in the music industry, and then I dropped down to like $0 probably a few negatives, and then I was able to bring that back up. So there were so many different things that I had to recognize that led me to that space, and what led me to that space was just a lot of the limiting beliefs that I had that I really didn't recognize that I had. Okay, and so just to share with you guys a few that you might have, might be you might have heard your mother say money don't grow on trees, or you might have heard your parents fight over money, and all of these different things actually contribute to subconscious money blocks that prevent you from actually obtaining money because their belief is programmed into your mind. So basically what happens in our brain has neurons, right? And so these neurons that our brain have, when we continuously focus on a negative thing, or we continuously, and I'm going to keep this straight about money for 99.9% of our conversation, okay? So when we have money blocks and we have these different beliefs and programs running in our mind, what's happening is the neurons in our brain and the pathways in our brain, they're operating in a particular direction based on the belief that we have. Okay, so when you begin to alter that, it's almost like you're redirecting the neurons to go in another direction in order for it to actually bring wealth to you, or bring you opportunities in order for you to create wealth. right? So when you're operating from the other side and you get ready to try to switch over to the other side, your brain is so used to, your mind is so used to thinking the other way, it's going to fight you at first, you know? And so you have to kind of like really be strong and recognize it for the belief that it is, accept it as the belief, and pretty much let that go so that you can start, finding some new empowering beliefs that you can put in place of the ones that used to be there or that you're choosing to eliminate in order to begin to see a transformation in your financial story. Okay, so if you want to increase your wealth, we all know that it's important to recognize that money was a mean of exchange, right? And so, we all got attached to this money thing because that's what we were programmed to do. We were taught that, money makes the world go round, things like that. And it's a whole lot of different things that do allow us to take control of how much money that we have. And that's basically by changing the direction that the neurons go in our brain, by consistently putting positive, empowering financial thoughts and behaviors and changing our behaviors in our mind, as such as doing things like studying things about money mindset, making sure that you start saving, making sure that you discover how do you invest. So if you don't take a step towards financial prosperity isn't going to just show up for you. It's like you have to rewire your brain for wealth. And if you don't rewire your brain, that's why most people see the same story that they see today, right? So excuse me. How we think and how we feel and the habits that we have when it comes to money affect our bank accounts enormously. All right, so to create like an entirely new level of wealth, I'm going to share with you guys just some disciplines, because I know I told you real quickly like about the beliefs, but it's really about the disciplines too. And the thing is that you have to commit to these practices. Okay, so you can't just do it for a week and be like, oh, and then because you will start seeing money flow in once you start changing the neurons. It's going to be like, oh wow, what's this, but it's still going to be receiving it at first, then it's going to block it off. So you're going to start seeing that abundance, but don't get comfortable with starting to see, maybe a $300 surprise check shows up, or whatever the case might be. Somebody comes and give you money for something, or you get some new clients that you didn't expect, or whatever the case might be. And so if you don't commit to the daily practice, after you receive the money, you are going to see it's going to fall off, and you're going to be probably feeling worse than you felt when you created the first, set of dollars that you created. All right. So the first thing you have to do is you have to realize your current amount of income, okay, your savings, and your debt is all a result of your inner wealth set points. Okay, so I want you to think about it like this. It's like you're in a room, right? And you have this financial, let's say you have a thermostat, right? And the thermostat controls the temperature of the room, right? So let's just say you have a party and you have, I don't know, let's just say 5 people show up first, right? So those first 5 people, they show up, they come to the party, everybody's chilling out, right? And everybody starts to dance. And as everybody begins to dance, what ends up happening is the temperature in the house actually goes up. So the thermostat in the house, it goes up, right? So after it goes up, its normal temperature is, let's say, 70, right? Once it starts to heat up, it's going to try to re-regulate itself back down to 70. And so that's what happens with our brains. We try to set this high financial thermostat. I want to make $30,000 a month, but the truth is like you don't really believe that you could have or you could really make $30,000 a month. And so that's like the limiting belief. That's like your set point. So let's just say you made $10,000. That's your inner wealth set point, right? So let me just break this down for you. And I'm trying to rush through this because I know we don't have a whole lot of time. Okay, so the first thing we do is that we look at how much we're earning, right? And we look at our savings and we look at our debt. And the first thing we do is we tend to think that there are a variety of external forces beyond our control, right? And mistakes that we made over the years. But we forget that you have the power to change that thermostat right now, right? So when you realize that you started with these particular wealth set points, right? Excuse me, these particular set points, everything that has happened in your money story has actually been a result of those set points. So what you have to do is you actually have to step back into control, okay? So instead of blaming yourself for the mistakes, instead of talking about the past, instead of talking about, oh, it was because of my divorce, or just avoiding money altogether, not wanting to look at your bank account and all of that stuff because you don't want to face the music, it's something that you got to deal with. You know what I mean? All you have to do is create a plan in order for you to get out of that create a strategy to exit that debt story, okay? And come in and create something new, right? So you can unravel these set points, guys. It's not like you're actually stuck with these set points, okay? So all you got to do is actively create new ones, okay? And so that's the main thing. So the second thing that you have to do is you have to get clear on your money paradigm, okay? So what do I mean by your paradigm? It's your I want to say like your status of thinking, like your level of thinking, like where you are, like your actual like money vibration, so to speak. Okay, so let me break that down for you a little bit. All right, so your set points, they came from one place, and that was your family, right? Whoever you grew up around, you pretty much picked up their habits. So let's just say, for instance, there was like, your family was on welfare, right? And we got this thing in the African American urban community that as soon as a teenager or as soon as you get knocked up, they say, okay, you got to go get WIC. Okay, now you got to go get on food stamps. Okay, come on, I'm taking you down to welfare. But what if that was never your story? It's like you accepted that story because mommy said, oh, now that I'm pregnant, I have to go to WIC and I got to go get food stamps and I got to go get, Medicaid, but this is why your set point is set at your mother's thermostat or whoever you were around thermostat, okay? So start to think back, like if you want to identify the paradigm, you want to start to think back in your childhood, right? And you want to start watching a movie of your parents dealing with money, dealing with bills.
Let's see if she's frozen. Give it a... Okay, there you are. You was frozen for a minute. Takiyah, you're back. You were frozen for us.
Okay. So think back in your childhood, back to when you were growing up and your parents were talking about money, or they were talking about bills, or different, or going to work, or like, oh, I gotta work overtime, and maybe one parent feeling left out because the other parent is always at work, right? So I want you to start to notice, like, how your parents feel in this movie, okay, when they dealt with money and the kinds of things that they would have said at that time. Like, I'm the one who's paying all the bills in this house, or I'm the man of this house, or whatever the argument was, right? So I want you to go to that place and think about, how were they feeling? Were they angry? Were they upset? Were they civilized when they talked about money? Because not everybody got the same paradigm, okay? So sometimes your parents could have grew up managing money very well, and if your parent was a great money manager, then chances were you too would become a great money manager, right? So I want you to think, was there anxiety? Was there worry? Was there disappointment? Was there, fussing? Like, what was that like, right? Were there any big money when you were growing up? Okay, like, were there... I think you froze again. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can... No, go ahead.
It froze again? Okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about if there were any big traumas. Okay, think about if there were any big traumas around money when you were growing up. Like I said before, like a divorce or a death or a child support battle, or did somebody lose their job? And so if you could see yourself in the movie as a child, I want you to ask yourself, how did it make you feel witnessing that? Witnessing all of this craziness that was going on, how did that impact you? What did you learn? What did you learn to do, and what did you learn not to do? Okay? Did you hear that, it was hard for your parents to make money? Okay? Did you hear them say, I hate my job? All of these questions are going to allow you to actually clarify exactly what money paradigm is programmed into you on both terms, talking about, your mother and your father, or your grandmother, or whoever it was that you grew up around that programmed these beliefs around you. But you'll see the limiting beliefs, and you'll also see the emotional reactions when it comes to dealing with money. Okay? And so you can only go so far if you if you unknowingly are blocking your own efforts in this area, right? So the next thing would be a self-diagnosis of your financial traumas, okay? And so you want to work these out. So I'm showing you guys how to get past the trauma, because in order for you to even create a whole nother blueprint, the first thing you got to do is deal with the trauma. You got to deal with the stuff that's holding you back. So if I don't tell you this, even if I come on another time and give you a whole nother strategy, but I really got to give you guys how to get rid of the stuff that's actually creating the trauma, that's blocking your financial flow from the beginning. Okay? So the third thing was self-diagnosis of any financial traumas, right? And you need to work those traumas out. Okay? So financial trauma is basically, it's often lurking around in your debt. That's where you feel it at. Every time you get a bill that comes in, you start to feel all crappy and stuff, when the bill comes in, because you already know in advance that you don't have the money to pay for it, right? Or we start watching our bank accounts and we see the bank accounts decreasing, right? And it just feels like this really dark cloud, this really dark storm that's coming over you, right? And it seems like it's a never-ending thing. It's like just when you get on, your finances and things start to go up, then they just seem to bump heads. But understand this when you're dealing with the trauma. You might say things like, oh, if that would have never happened, I would be so much better off. Right? If you say stuff like that, it's likely that you're still harboring those burdensome emotions around your money story based on who you grew up around. So you might feel sadness, you might feel guilt, you might feel fear, loss, trust, lost in belief in your confidence in yourself, and even the confidence to even believe that you can even have wealth or even build wealth for yourself. I'm so used to looking at this camera up here. I'm sorry. Okay, and so guys, it's almost impossible to implement a strategy for our debt reduction or our savings growth and bring all the brilliance to it if we have a whole bunch of financial traumas that's weighing us down. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a mind-body technique to actually shift the mind-body problem, because I wanted to give you guys solutions. There's a lot more that I wanted to share with y'all, but we're pressed for time. But it's okay. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with EFT, which is basically the emotional freedom technique. This is a technique that I actually use with my clients, where it works like acupuncture. So basically what it is it's like acupuncture but without the needles. Okay? And so I'm going to recommend that you guys look it up on YouTube, so that you can actually go through the process of one, like, fully, because I don't have a lot of time to like go through the whole thing with you. But I will tell you that when you use EFT with business, okay, I know when I used it on my clients and professionals, it's needed in those areas, guys, because people don't act logically when it comes to their money. Okay, and so the topic of money often brings up these really strong emotions that influence our actions, affect our habits, and there's a lot of times that we need to create new habits, but we're afraid to change. Okay, and that very thing that we're afraid to change could be the very thing that changes everything. Okay, and so I'll give you guys just a little example if you're not familiar with EFT. But what you do is you actually tap really lightly with your fingertips on points. I'm not all of them, I'm just going to give you like two of them, which is the side of the hand and which is the inside of the wrist. Okay, so when you tap lightly on these acupuncture points, what happens is, believe it or not, I deal with the brain, so I know that this works. What happens is you actually create a shift in that unconscious belief, in that negative emotion that's unconsciously blocking your desire, because everything is energy. So everything that, you know, a lot of the money blocks and stuff that even your parents had, and the blocks that we have, all of these things are really just trapped energy. So when you tap on that negative emotion, and when you tap on that, it actually releases the trapped emotion. Okay, so not only is tapping extremely easy to use, it's really easy to learn. That's why I really want you guys to go type in EFT on YouTube and just, you know, watch a video. Do one for finances, but you can do EFT for anything. You could do EFT for weight loss. You can do EFT for confidence. You can do it for anything. Okay, and so it's an extremely valuable tool. All right, so number 5, sorry. So number 5, guys, you want to make new goals in your money, and you want to use your conscious power to stay on track. Okay, so once you realize that, you know, your money thermostat starts to go up and you start to increase your income, and you want to make sure that you are spending and managing your money, you know, based on the new goals that you set. Okay, because if you don't do it based on the new goals that you set, and you just try to be like, oh, I'm going to save money, something's going to come up and it's going to strip you of your windfall. Okay, and so this is imperative what I'm saying to you. All right, so you got to understand that when you don't have this limiting program anymore, and even as you start tapping and you start doing the energy release technique that I shared with you guys tonight, what you're going to notice is that your income is going to change, and it's going to be solely based on your inner value. It's going to be solely based on your inner value, what it is that you're feeling inside, how you're feeling about money. So you can't have the old trauma and then try to feel good and you haven't released it. But as you start to do the emotional freedom technique to release the energy around it, you will see your finances change. Okay, and so you're going to have to create new wealthy habits. One of the things I wanted to go over with you guys tonight was rich habits and poor habits, but we don't have a lot of time. So set that new savings goal. Okay, and once you get rid of that energetic block and that program that's been living in your mind, that has you thinking that it's okay to live paycheck to paycheck, or not really make enough money in your business, or not wanting to get past the little limitations of you don't want to go live. In order for you to make money, you got to be visible, and if nobody knows what it is that you have, how can you make a sale? So you have to put yourself out there. So there's some behaviors that you're gonna have to change, and there's some new things that you're gonna have to try out, but it's gonna be worth it, because the more that you get confident with putting yourself out there, and the more you start to go live, it's gonna build your inner confidence. So now you're gonna start to think differently, like, you know, I could really do this. I can create wealth. I can, you know, attract 5 clients a month in my business, or whatever it is. However, you know, your business is set up. Everybody's business is set up differently. But you know, if you could bring even half of your achiever self to work for yourself, you will definitely begin to see a shift in your goals. Okay, you're gonna see that you are gonna succeed. You have to stick to your goals, though, guys. All right, and if you feel like, you know, you keep striving but never arriving, despite everything that you've tried, despite all of your efforts, despite everything that you're trying to get through your financial situation, then I recommend, you know, the idea of getting with a coach, you know, getting with a money mindset coach or a financial coach who can actually help you identify. Because, like, the things that I gave you guys tonight, this isn't half of what you need to know, you know what I mean, to even begin to it will help you begin to change your blueprint, but like, you know, to really take you to the next level, we have to sit and, you know, create a strategy. Once I know your business and I know what your goals are in your business, it's so much easier for me to create a plan for you. So, you know, I don't want to just throw out a bunch of basic stuff here just to, you know, just to say whatever. I really want to actually help you guys. Now, because you guys are all here with Phoenixx Love, if you are interested in Phoenixx, gives me permission, I would like to offer whoever is on this live a free 20-minute money mindset analysis so we could go through some of the beliefs that you might have. Let me hear your money stories. Let me, because there's a lot of things that I have to ask you in order to be able to pull up the weeds and plant new seeds for that transform money story that you need. Okay? So I guess I'm just going to kind of end it there because I know we are out of time. But I want to share with you guys that all the money tips, all the strategies, and all of these things, again, they only go but so far, okay? You can't block your efforts. You need to pay attention to what it is that you're paying attention to, and you need to set a plan. You have to have a plan. The thing is that most people don't have a plan for their money, and that's why when they get it, they spend it recklessly. Okay, so have a plan. Understand, where is your money going when you receive this money and this money is coming to you. You know, what are you going to invest in? Start setting your mind up for your come up. Okay, and I'm just gonna end it right there because it's not I can't give it to you guys the way I really want to give it to you. But I would definitely love to, you know, have you guys can contact Phoenixx, or you can contact me. And if you want to get this presentation literally like to its fullest, so that you can really see the blueprint, I do have a live workshop that I did with a full presentation. It's available on I keep looking at this camera, sorry, it's available on YouTube. And so with Phoenixx's permission, I'll be more than happy to give you guys,
just put it in turn yeah, your volume.
my volume, turn it down.
Mm-hmm. The feedback, whatever your other device
It's
is.
feedback. I don't hear. Oh, it could be the fan.
Yeah. No, my voice.
Did that
It's
stop
it's
it?
like so Takiyah, you
See,
covered
I
a
can't
lot
hear
of.
you. The only reason why I gotta turn this up is because I won't be able to hear
Oh,
you.
okay, it's a little feedback. That's okay then.
Okay.
No, what I'm saying is that you hit a lot of very important points. I know one that I've talked about before, the limiting beliefs, which
Yes.
is really what keeps us stuck in a cycle, especially when it comes to our money, because like you said, it's embedded in us usually from our childhood, how we were raised up. And I love what you said about financial trauma. I never looked at it that way, right?
Yes.
Because it can be like if you were raised up in a household where always lacks, and then you have that mindset of scarcity that I never have
Yes.
enough money, so you operate that way. Either you are like very tight on your pocketbook, and I'm not going to spend this, and there's nothing
Yep.
wrong with being frugal to free and saving, but it also can be damaging if it prevents you from going and achieving, and going after, say, going asking for a promotion or starting a
Yes.
new business, stepping out and
Yes.
really into your greatness. So it can be so damaging, to your point that you said, financial trauma. So I love that. I thought that was really strong.
Thank
um
you.
but also I love that you brought in, because like you said, everything we do, we are energy. Everything around us is energy, including how we process and make our money, and the exchange of money is energy. So
Yes.
I love that you brought in the solution of EFT, emotional freedom technique, which I've been using for many years, with great results for a variety of different problems. And
Yes.
yes, it is for finances as well. So I'm glad you brought that in. And what I may do is do like a and then I could probably bring you back on, and we can do a
Okay.
session just EFT
Yeah,
using
we
that
could. Yeah,
solution.
we could do that. Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it on money and something else. So, but this is the wonderful thing. What I wanted to bring up to everybody that's on here is that, this is why I like to showcase our members, of this group, bring you on, talk about what your area expertise is. We get to know a little bit about each other so we can see how we can work together. Takiyah, she has 4 books, Takiyah, that's all
Yes.
about money and finances. I mean, just the wealth. I was on one of her lives.
Well,
What was
it's
that, earlier
some of
today?
them, some of them. The latest book is From Poverty to Profit, and that's the only one. Like that's really like if you really, 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 really want to fit, you serious about fixing your money story. That book is all you need. Everybody who has purchased that book from me, I don't even have it around me. It must be. Oh,
I
it
was
fell on
gonna
the floor.
say, the book now, you can't talk about it, don't show it.
Yeah. Oh.
So look, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna put your information in the comments, because there'll be
Okay.
some people that catching this on the replay. Those of you who catch this on the replay, put hashtag replay,
Okay.
and so they know how to contact you. They know what your books are, and all of
Yes.
your just put your
Okay.
information there, so anybody that wants to take advantage, they can. But
Okay.
this is really what this group is all about, and I'm going to be putting out for June and July, actually for the
Okay.
rest of summer. Anybody else that wants to come up and do a training and a presentation, just like Takiyah has done, and Kimberly and other people that I've had, other members from this group. Marsha did her presentation last week on networking, which was excellent. This is what we want to do. And then we have an opportunity. This is one way of networking and where we know how we can collaborate. But then also this summer, I'm going to be doing a number of live events, like in-person events, networking events, conferences, meetings. So I would love to pull, again, people that have expertise in certain areas to be presenters and speakers. So this is just the beginning. And this is why I started this whole leadership and business training series. So not only that we know what each other are doing, but also that we can, collaborate.
Yeah.
So if you're catching this on a replay, put hashtag replay. If you have any questions, please, put them in the comments. We're going to be wrapping up. But to Takiyah, any final
Yeah, yeah.
thing
If
you
they can
want
answer, if they want to put questions, you guys could put them out. I'll come back and answer. No, I think that's it. I'm gonna type in the website and all that other wonderful stuff for you guys.
I gotta do that. If you know you got things to do, get your butt up earlier and take that. Which is another belief. Why do you feel like prosperity is not available to you? Prosperity is available to you. Love and the more that we stay in the past, what happens?